going on, everybody? It's your boy Rockman 3K3 back again with O, and we're talking about
$65 to $70 video games, which is all video games right now. When you go to your store, when you go to your GameStop, your Walmart, wherever you shop for your video games, more than likely you're going to pay $59.99 for your video game. Question is it worth it? That's my question. Okay, Rock, you gotta set this off because you know where I'm going with it. I'm gonna let you say something first, and then we're just gonna go with O's blast, okay? O's first blast, all right? Go ahead. You tell me.
more like the final blast. I gotta say, dude. And this is not. It's not so much tough for me. It is kind of conflicting because I'm gonna go into game design. And so I know developers really don't have much to do with the pricing other than like saying, all right, we agree to it. But at the same point, if I could interject and just say, there are some games out there that I've played, I've rented, I've been over friends' house and played, that have been like for $65, even sometimes $80.
It should have never been made.
At all, like
it.
seriously. I mean, you know, like there's a few. Like for example, I have one, and this is not a $65 game. This is back before they hit the $65 mark.
Okay.
But the one on PS2, and you can see it right adjacent from it. It's called Breath of Fire Dragon Quarter. A lot of people who are fans of the Breath of Fire series knows that game well, because that game was the death of Breath of Fire. Like they butchered it, and it was $49.99.
$49.99.
So, I mean...
Now, what was that? You said that was PS2 or was that Xbox?
That was PS2.
PS2, okay.
Now, I mean, you know, all the systems are guilty of doing this. But here's my thing. Okay, and a good example we'll use Splinter Cell Conviction.
Okay.
Great game.
Right.
Just really short. And on top of that, I just paid $65 for that game. Yeah. And it was probably $10 an hour. Because it took me about 6 or 7 hours to beat that.
That's highway robbery. Look, PS2, Xbox, you paid what? Like you said, you paid. Well, really, there was a range.
Oh yeah, there was a range.
2K started doing their sports games, and they were like $20 out the box. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That was for the football and the basketball. Mm-hmm. So you had a range from $20 to all the way up to what, $49.99 for a new game.
Exactly.
Okay, and then of course, when 360 came out and PS3 came out, you start seeing the price hike, and my immediate reaction was, okay, these games are way too high. My wife is never going to let me buy a video game ever again. But because the consoles were so high, the game prices were okay. You know, the consoles when they first came out, they were $400 or $500. Game is $60. That's fine. My problem is this: if you're going to make me pay $60 for a game, then you gotta. It's got to be a gift that keeps on giving.
Exactly. And here's the thing. We're not saying, because a lot of people make this mistake too. Now, don't make this mistake. Way back in the day, there were Super Nintendo games that cost $59.99. I know a lot of you are probably too young to even know what a Super Nintendo is. And then some of you might have been babies when it came out. But back in the day, they were $59.99 for some new Super Nintendo titles.
I don't remember that, Rock. I don't remember that. I can't attest to that. Look, he's on his own on that one, y'all. I don't remember that. But if he says it, I believe it. All right. I don't think the Rock Man ain't gonna lie. So
now, but here's the thing, though. These were games that were worth it. Like, let me give you an example.
Okay.
Final Fantasy 3, which was actually Final Fantasy 6,
okay,
but because of the English dub problem, they called it 3.
Okay.
It was $59.99.
Okay.
But
how long did it take you to beat it?
See, that's what I'm getting to. Oh, that's the good part.
I'm sorry.
No. It took me probably 70 hours to finish that game. 70, 80 hours.
That's pretty long.
And that is back when you were a kid. So that means playing outside, school.
That's not 70 straight. Okay, yeah, that's like, okay, I'm like you said, I'm distracted, I'm doing this and this and that.
We talking about a year.
Okay.
You know, because, you a kid, you know, the last thing you want to do is sit there. kid can sit there for 70 hours. Well, now they can.
Now they can. Yeah.
Back in the day, we couldn't.
No,
Our
we
parents
couldn't. We had
literally
too much,
would not let us.
Yeah, we had
do
other
it.
stuff to do.
But yeah, you're talking about games like that would literally last you a year because you can do so much in the game.
Right.
You know, that was worth $59.99 to me.
Right.
But you got games now that are worth that much, and people are beating it like within the next 2 or 3 days.
Right.
And it's not really fair. You can't judge a game by it being short. And, it's like you can't say a short game is not necessarily a good game because that's not true. Because there's a lot of games you can go back through and replay. But I'm just saying, if I can play a game, beat it, and then I know for a fact that I'm never going to go back to it, that's not a good look on the whole $65.
No. See, if you're going to price these games at this price, and you're going to do it, if you're going to be fair, let's call it that, because you're going to price them whatever you want to price them. Let's be fair to the people that are buying them. Gears of War, the first one, is a perfect example for me. Before I bought that game, I had some people close to me tell me that it was a short game. And I'm like, wait a minute, this is a game that everybody's talking about, everybody's raving about. What do you mean it's short? It literally is short. It's only 5 boards. So I waited for the price to drop. I waited months and months and months because I was not going to pay $60, $65, whatever tax comes out to be, for this game that is this short that I'm hearing about. And so I waited months and months and months. 6, 7 months go by. 8, 9 months go by. And they did not drop the price. So finally it went down to $54.99, and I figured it wasn't going to drop anymore. I said, let me go ahead and get this game because it's not going to drop anymore. Then when I get the game, I beat it in a day or two. Okay? Right now, there's a handful of games that actually deserve that $59.99 price tag, in my opinion. Mass Effect 1, Mass Effect 2, God of War 3, that was a lengthy game.
Lost Odyssey
to some who are into stuff like that. I'm not. But Lost Planet, both 1 and 2, I think are well worth their money. And in the video game magazines, particularly Game Informer, there's a thing called replay value. And they've got to acknowledge this. They've got to see, okay, if I'm going to price this game at $59.99, it has to have replay value.
But see, nowadays, though, when you're talking about that, nowadays people are thinking about playing online. Because, unfortunately, for guys like you and me, who grew up on the whole, like, hey, invite somebody over so we can play 2 players on this. Right. It's not there anymore. Like, okay. Now it's Xbox Live.
I got you. But for argument's sake, let's just take the whole online thing out. Just take that out. Okay. I'm talking to the base person, like you or I, who can live without playing online. Because I know a lot of people have to play everything online.
I mean, they get on. It's Xbox Live.
That's it. I don't know what's wrong with y'all people. But anyway, I am a person who does not have to go online. And that's the people that I'm really talking to. I understand what you're saying about the people who go online, because obviously you get a lot of replay value if you go online. But what if you don't go online? What if you're a kid whose parents will not allow you to participate in online gaming?
And that happens like that. A lot.
Yes.
A lot of kids are like that.
Yes. You know? So then what do? You've got this game. You paid $60, $70 for it. You beat it in 2 days. And there's no incentive to go back and keep playing. Mass Effect is probably the best example. There's constantly new downloadable content that makes you want to play the game all the way through again, whether it be new skins, new additional missions, new weapons that you can play with, new characters.
Their new game, Dragon Age, is the same way, man.
Exactly. You want to play through the game again, and not only that, but the first time you played through it, it took you about a week to beat it. And of course, I'm not talking straight time, but even if you sit down, like the average person who plays video games, I think plays for like maybe 3 or 4 hours in one setting. Mm-hmm. And that may be twice a day. Mm-hmm. Okay, so at that rate, it's still going to take you at the